How many people are there? You guys have only given me 3 likes. And there's 63 of you. Hello, hello, everybody. I was laughing because I stupidly forgot to turn my mic off. And you know what I was laughing at? Someone in the comments wrote, Anushka's not coming on until there's 100 likes. And actually, that is true because I'm watching, look, from my phone, and there's a few of you. And how many likes have I got? Come on, guys, press the like button. I would be very happy with that. Like, you'd be supporting, definitely. There's 61 of you guys, 61 likes. That would be amazing. Anyway, Happy New Year to all of you. I hope that you're all doing really well. Yes, Sean, it is freezing. It is so cold. Have you found that over the last few days, it's just got worse? I don't know. Yesterday, there was so much frost. Oh, I don't know. I think I really need to move to somewhere warmer. Yes, we can so trade places, Midnight Blue. So trade places. I would live in California in a heartbeat. Actually, do you know what? I did actually go to California. This was quite a while back. I went with my family, and California is beautiful. We went to, oh my God, I can't remember now. It was La Jolla, I think it's called. We went there, and I went to New Mexico, Arizona. That was amazing. That was so amazing. So guys, where are you from? You know that I love to know what part of the world you guys are all from. I'm in the cold UK. Yeah, don't bother coming to the UK, definitely. It's just too cold, like all the time, cold and wet. So, yes. How was everyone's New Year? Mine was quite quiet, didn't do much at all, you know, and all that. How did everyone else enjoy their New Year's? Thank you so much. So, we've got Wisconsin, in the US, the UK. We've got for Greece, absolutely from Birmingham, Macedonia. Gosh, you guys are from all over the world. From Maine, from South Africa. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you for purchasing the journal prompts. Thank you. From Ireland, from Midwest, North Yorkshire, Bulgaria. Wow. Guys, again, yeah, North Yorkshire freezing. Colorado, Maryland, Washington, Jackson's, Southern California, Atlanta. Oh, this is amazing. So, guys, I want to say that thank you so much for taking your time to be here, for joining us on this live. It's so nice to have you guys here, honestly. We got India, we got Norway, New Zealand. Oh, I'm so touched, from Ireland. Oh my God, you guys literally are from like all over the world. Do you know, I know I say this every week and I'm like, oh wow, this is amazing. But it really is. It blows my mind. Yes, I did. What is it called? Orange County. Oh my God. Yes, it is. That's where I was. That's where I went. I went with my mum and dad and my sister. We were like kids, and we had friends out there, and yeah, well, it were my parents' friends, but it was cool. Just saw so much of the US. It was amazing. Ohio, New York, south of Wales. Yes, go and get a snack. Absolutely, go and get a snack. Not a problem. Oh, and from London, thank you. Raining but not too cold. South London, all the South London massive. I'm from North London, so yes, hungry. Yes, so guys, just want to say it's just amazing to have you guys on here. It's an honor to have you here, and I hope that obviously in these sessions we're going to help you um, move forward, and just think of this differently. This is what I kind of want to say, is that you're not stuck. All right, you're not stuck. You can so get through this. We are always led to believe that we have to accept our situation, or that we're not powerful enough, or we're not good enough, we can't do this. But actually, all of the resources, everything that you have is already inside of you. You just need to access it. But by accessing it, you need to start believing in yourself first. Okay, that is what I really want to say. If you take anything from the live, that is what I want to say, is that you already have the power within you, okay, to get through this and to understand this. But we're going to unpack it. We're all going to talk about it. And you will get through this. All right? You will get through this. This is not impossible. I know that it probably seems really hard to try and forget someone, to get over somebody that has been like this, but we have to think of this in a different perspective, or in a different way, because if we stay stuck in this one mindset, we're not going to get very far, are we, guys? We are so not going to get far. So, guys, if you're liking this already, please press the like button. I would be so happy for your support. Thank you so much. Thank you, Angie, for being in the mental program. I'm going to actually, talking about the mental program, I'm going to be adding more like content as the week goes on. There's so much more to come, like, because obviously I've just started this out. There's going to be so much more. If you guys want to join the mentorship program, please just check the description box below, because there is a link. But there's so much more coming your way. For those of you who are already in it, I hope that you've enjoyed the meditation. I really loved recording that. It's called a Starry Sky meditation. It's one that I had actually practiced myself, and I wanted to share that with the community. But if you guys are done living small and you want to level up, please check the description box for the mentorship program, because that's what it's about. All right, it's more of a holistic approach, like a whole kind of holistic approach. It's mind, body, and spirit. It's not just psychology, it's everything. Because when we are healing, we're not just healing one part of us, because as you all know, this is a journey. This isn't just, you trying to get over somebody. Like, God, if it was like that, it'd be so much easier. We wouldn't have to be here. But this is so much more. And so that's really what the mentorship is about. And that's really, that's really what these lives are about, is to help you see that actually, you can get through this. You will get through this, because what are you going to do? What's the alternative? You're going to stay stuck thinking and being the way that you are. It's not even comfortable in this place. It's not comfortable being in this mindset, and also your daily life, like every day you're spent thinking about this person or trying to get through this. Like, this isn't what life is supposed to be about. This isn't what, your life has, come to or been reduced to. These people, seriously, like, who are they really? Are they really, really that important? Yes, I know. They've been quite an important part. Yes, you've fallen in love with them. You've spent quite, a significant amount of time with them. A lot of you have been married to them. But honestly, seriously, these people, are they really worth your well-being, really worth you cutting your life short? You not being comfortable in your own skin? It's not worth that, is it? You have to really make that decision for you. Like, what is going to help you get to the next place, get to the next level, and learning and, moving forward, leveling up. Sean, I'm with you on that one. I was shivering in the bed as well last night, but I have Alfie with me, my dog, who took up half of the bed. So that's why I was cold, because he took the covers. How can a little dog, it's a Frenchie, I don't know if any of you know, but it's a Frenchie, and he snores very loud, and he literally sleeps not even in the middle, more towards my side. So yes, he's getting kicked out today. Anyway, only from the bed, not from the house, from the bed. So how do you let go of somebody like that? How do you let go of someone who, as you know, has caused you so much pain, so much stress, and really just probably like confused you with their actions, like what they have done, and you trying to understand that actually, what is this person doing? Like, why have they done this? Like, why am I finding it so difficult to be able to move forward? Yet, some of you still may have feelings for this person. How do you do that? How do you let go of someone who has done this? Well, guys, the first thing that I would say is understanding what has happened, okay? Knowledge is power. I can't say this enough, and I know I say this a lot, but educating yourselves. Do you know that spending 30 minutes a day on doing something that you really enjoy, like learning about something, that really helps with your mindset, that really helps with concentration. And as we get older, there's cognitive decline, all right? Thank you, Matthew. Okay, Matthew, my boyfriend left me 2 days after introducing me to his mum. I found out he had been meeting up with escorts. He hasn't spoken to me since I found out. Matthew, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, this is really awful, that what has happened. But you see, that just shows me, okay, that this person has no connection, no empathy, no respect. Actually, there's no respect, and there's no closure, there's no understanding what has happened. Like, seriously, 2 days after. As you know, like that probably was to keep you on side. I wonder if this person will come back. I don't think that actually going with escorts, that was all supply. That was all to make him feel good about himself. This isn't about you not being good enough or you not doing enough. You are more than enough. And this is what I mean. Like when people cheat in relationships, okay, Um, what you have to understand is that there is something not okay with them. Why couldn't they just say that they're not happy, or why could they say that actually this is not working? But it's a coward response, and human beings don't need multiple partners. They just need that one companion, and that's really what happens. But you see, in these circumstances, it just really goes to show how emotionally immature that person is, probably how much shame that they are carrying, and this just adds to it. And also that they're not able to be like man enough or woman enough to say that actually, this is not working for me, or that's not working for me. Like, I think that society now has become over sexualized, and with sex being like pushed in our faces, and it kind of gives us the thought that actually we shouldn't work on relationships. We should just like move on, go on to the next. And you see, there's no togetherness, there's no like like unity, there's no togetherness, compassion, like work together on this. It doesn't encourage that. It encourages, actually, with this culture, especially, you've got the what are called the dating thing, the dating apps. It makes it so easy to like choose people, go to the next. So it makes it very easy to like actually cheat, and this is very much encouraged because it's kind of like disposable partners, basically. So it's not about that there's something wrong with us. Okay, it's the other person, that they can't be mature enough to basically say that there's something not working, or they can't communicate. And I think that's what you really have to look at here, is that why can that person say something if you're not happy, or if something's not working? Why would you betray the bond or the attachment that you share with your partner? So this is something for for all of us to remember, that actually cheating is the coward's way out. It really is. Like, why would you do that to someone? So yes, so we really have to kind of look at this in another way, thinking about like trying to let go of somebody, and it's all about detachment. We have to try and detach from someone who has caused us so much pain, to try and understand that actually what has been going on. But as you know, and what the closure that you would have received is that they are a narcissist. Okay, you would have realized that this person is toxic. Okay, that they're not going to give you the answers that you need. You've come to your own conclusions. You've come to your own understanding that this person is toxic. Okay, and so that is what we need to kind of take forward. This person is not okay. Okay, this person isn't okay. And that's something that you have to actually realize, that the letting go is the detachment from this person. And I know that goes against our principles. I know that goes against, what we have always believed in, because, we are kind, compassionate people. We are empathetic. So letting go of someone, like just discarding someone, or just, pushing someone to the side, or letting go, moving forward from someone, this is what you've got to remember. It's not easy, but it is something that you have to kind of think about, because this person is just going to take. All right, they're not going to give, they're just going to take. So what's the alternative? You trying to change this person, you trying to try and understand them. You're not going to, because they don't think the same way that you do. You keep going back, hoping that something will change. You keep wishing, you want to educate them and help them. Like, can you imagine you going up to them and saying, hey, do you know what? I know that you're not okay, but actually, you know what? You're a narcissist. How do you think that information is going to be received? And especially now, with this word being thrown out there, anyone who is horrible, anyone, like, we know what a narcissist is, because we've been with one. We know what they are. We know what they're capable of, that we know how they make us feel. But a lot of people just throw this term out. And it was kind of like, You know, a few years ago, that term when everyone used to say, oh, you're such a psycho, it's kind of the same thing. So it loses its meaning. So we understand it because we have seen the pathological side of it. We have seen the disastrous side of it, of actually what happens with this person. You know, these individuals do wreck lives. But that's the key here. Yes, they wreck lives, but not yours. Meaning, you have to level up. You have to move past this. You don't look at yourself as a victim, because you're not victims. You are here because you're trying to get answers. You're trying to move forward from this. You're trying to understand it. That's not what a victim would do. A victim takes this, takes it, but you're not. You're doing something about it. So you are going to understand it, process the information, and move forward, because that's what this is really about. This is about you understanding that this person cannot be changed. This person doesn't want to change. So when you're thinking about, like, how can I let go of this person? Well, what's the alternative? You're going to suffer. You're going to make it your life's mission to try and save this person. They're not interested in being saved. They're not interested in you. It's only like what you can give this person. And you know what you can give this person? You know as well as I do. Your attention, your focus, your energy. And this is all called supply. That's what they're there for. They're not here to build relationships with you. They're not here to love you in the way that you deserve. That's not what this is about. You know, I know I've talked about this before, but I worked in a low secure mental health hospital, and we had a whole host of people with different disorders. So we had people with schizophrenia, eating disorders. We had people with personality disorders. I remember there was quite some high profile cases as well in there. There was forensic cases. So, you know, there was a whole host of people, and they were obviously put into sections. And I know, like, when I first started out doing my psychology training, this was a great experience. You know, little old Anushka didn't know any better. We're like, hi, I want to help everyone. I want to save the world. Oh yeah, they saw me coming. Oh yeah, they saw me coming. And they knew that I was new, naive, and malleable. So I remember when I was working with, you know, people who had eating disorders, people who had schizophrenia, people who had personality disorders. And the one thing that I noticed that all of them have in common is they would observe, they would watch. They would watch you to work you out, because that's what they had. They had time. They had time to work you out. And once they worked out what kind of a person you are and who you are, because obviously I worked there for a few years, and yeah, it was all about trying to get my attention so that I give them my undivided attention. They used to say to me, Anushka, who is your favorite? And there was always fights like, who is your favorite? Who are you going to help today? And this wasn't about favorites or anything like that. You know, I was learning about, you know, mental health and how it is, the cycle of mental health. But yeah, and this is what I'm saying. Like, when you are that way predisposed, you're going to be looking to get people's attention, because inside you know that there's something not okay. Like, you've gone through this trauma, you've gone through all of this, but you know that there's something that is not okay. And so to get that validation from someone else, to get, you know, your needs met by getting that attention, that is what they're looking for. That is all it is. And I know that being in these narcissistic relationships, you know, or sociopathic or psychopathic relationships, you know, it does feel wonderful at the beginning. They feel amazing. Like, you will never experience anything like it. Boy, you will never experience anything like it. But, you know, they're so intense. They obsess. They love bomb. They mirror you. Because that's the way that they're predisposed. They're not just doing it to you, they're doing it to everybody. So it is about letting go of that, because what you're doing is you're inviting more of that into your life. How are you going to save this person? Because that's when you don't let go, that's what you're doing. You're basically going back into that pit of trying to give and give and give. But how much are you going to give until it's enough? Because it's not enough for the narcissist. They want more. They want more and more from you. So it's about you providing something all the time. You are kind, you are compassionate individuals, but you don't need to prove it by giving to someone, of trying to save someone. There's a reason why narcissists don't go to therapy. There's a reason why they don't want help. Why would you? If you're getting your needs met, why would you want to? So this is really about you letting go. You finally understanding that this person cannot be helped. Doesn't want to be helped. There's a thing or a saying that we have, in the therapy community, that actually someone can't come to therapy if they don't want it. You have to be open. There has to be a level of openness and a vulnerability. If you want to get therapy, if you want to get better, you have to be open. You have to be vulnerable. And can you imagine a narcissist doing that? Someone who has spent their life trying to hide. Someone who has spent a lifetime of putting this wall, this facade up. How is that going to suddenly come down and they're going to go to therapy? This is why it doesn't work. Therapy isn't for everybody. And it's true, I'm just looking in the chats that actually, yeah, they do mirror us. And yeah, we do end up understanding ourselves better. And this is what I was saying at the beginning, that actually, this isn't a journey of just getting over someone. This is a journey for you as well, to learn who you are, to celebrate you, to learn to love you and to care for you, be your own best friend. A lot of this is inner child work as well. So this is about standing up for you. The letting go is saying no to toxicity and actually rising above it and seeing it for what it really is. Because it is that. There isn't another alternative. And I know it's really difficult when you've looked at this person, or you have this person standing in front of you, or you've lived with this person and you've got to know them in this certain way. But they are not that way. They're not that person. They're never going to be that person. We have to understand that actually, do you know what? We were tricked. We were tricked. And they're good. Don't get me wrong. They are good at what they do. They have a bachelor's degree on what they do because they're very good at tricking people. This is what they had to learn as children. They needed to get their parents' attention or their caregivers' attention. And when you are abandoned, when you believe as a child that you're not good enough, every child wants their parents' attention. They want unconditional love. That's an inborn need that a child has. Now imagine that being destroyed. Imagine you learning about yourself that, hey, you're not good enough. You're not good enough to be my kid. That destroys a child. Sorry, I'm really uncomfortable. That destroys a child's self-esteem. So that child has to build it back up somehow. And that's what they do. They learn to mirror. They learn to put their parents on a pedestal and be everything that their parents want them to be. And so does this sound familiar? This doesn't change as you get older, as they get older. It doesn't change because no one says, oh, this is wrong. Let's go into therapy as a family. This doesn't happen. So this doesn't get changed. So everything that they did as kids, they're now doing to you as an adult in a relationship. And they're going to continue to do this because they need people. They need that attention. They need to feel superior. They need to feel good. And they need to get that from other people, whether that's like sleeping with a lot of other people, whether that's having a lot of friends, whether that's being put on a pedestal by their friends or their family, whatever. That is their need. It's the need to be noticed. It's the need to have them validated by other people because they can't do it for themselves. And they don't change. This isn't something that you can change. This isn't something that is going to change even if they went to a psychologist, a psychiatrist. Medication won't change this. This is inborn. This is emotional dysregularity, they're emotionally disabled because the neural pathways as children weren't formed correctly. You can't change that. This is neurology. You can't change that. So however they have been programmed with their neural pathways, that's how they are. And that's it. So you wanting to help them, I mean, that's really kind and that's really beautiful of you. But at what cost? Your own health? Your own well-being? Your own life? Because that's what you're looking at. That's the consequences of what you're looking at. Look, I understand it. There are some people who you can help. There are some people who really would welcome, that kindness and that love that you have, but not this person. It's not this person. So letting go really is about detachment. You've got to really understand the truth here. And that's what this is about. Guys, if you're enjoying the live stream so far, please press like. It would be really amazing. So let's talk about you. Let's talk about why this need to want to save somebody else, why this need to want to put someone else before you. Because that's also very interesting. Why you are putting somebody else in front of your own needs, before you. Because you are the most important here. This is your life. It's not mine. It's not the next door neighbors. It's not the narcissists. It's yours. And it's yours for the taking. And you deserve the life that you want. But you're not seeing that. You're putting somebody else's needs before your own. And it's different where, okay, like you've got to care for another person. Like I know many of you have been taught to look after everyone else, to like make sure everyone's okay. Depending on culture, I know that culturally, like there's a lot of that happens. I know that, like in my family, Eastern Europe, yeah, it's like, oh, you've got to look after them. You've got to make sure that they're all right. But it's not, I'm not talking in a toxic way, where you've got to put someone else before you, but it's just make sure that everyone's okay. So let's reframe that. Let's look at that differently. But at the end of the day, when that's taken to extreme by someone who is a narcissist, all right, they have a different agenda. They can see that kindness within you, so they exploit it. And so when somebody does that, they're taking the mick, aren't they? They are taking the mick. Because that's not what you do. That's not morally right. These people don't have morals, they don't have values because they weren't taught that. What they know is to take. Not to give, but just to take more and more. So this really is about you now thinking, okay, that's fine. You did that to me, but I'm going to rise up. I'm going to become a better version. I'm not going to be the same person as I was before because you won't be. You won't be, guys. The trauma, the emotional pain that you went through is going to change you. And as you probably all of you know, is you have got changed. You have been changed. So trauma does that. But what you can do is reframe this and look at this in a positive way. You've seen the ugly side of how mental health can be, or how emotional dysregularity can be. And this is a lesson. This is a lesson. This is what we learn, that not everyone is who they say they are. Everyone isn't going to look out for you and have the best interest for you. They're not. So this proves even more the fact that you've got to look after you. You've got to put yourself first. Because if you're not going to do it, do you know what? There's no one out there that's going to do it for you. You have to do it for you. And if you're not thinking about yourself, you're not putting yourself first, there's no one else that's going to do that. your siblings, your parents, your cousins, your aunties, your friends. No one is going to put you first. Because we have this thing called an instinct where it's all about our survival. And it's this inborn need that we all have it. We've all got this. And every person will want to make sure that they survive. They want to have a comfortable life. Which is why we have gadgets to help us in our lives, why we have certain things that help us out. And this is our human need to be comfortable. We will take the path of least resistance. But because we're kind, compassionate individuals, we want to help other people. We have a lot of empathy, maybe more than others, that we understand that, like, we want to help other people. We want to help other people feel good. But again, what about you? So you need to let people like this go. You need to put protection and barriers in place. This is what is going to save you from being abused, from having trauma over and over again. You have to protect yourself. Otherwise, what you're doing is you're sanctioning yourself to this kind of life. It isn't easy, I know, but it will save you. Your life isn't about trying to understand or save somebody else. Your life is about you. So how are you going to save you? How are you going to help you? It's about understanding that people aren't who they say they are. People aren't truthful most of the time. Again, society encourages it. Don't get me going on this tangent, because really this whole life could be about that, because I really have a lot to say about it. But anyway, society encourages us to lie, to paint a different picture of who we are. So it makes it very easy for such individuals to be that. Thank you, Matthew. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. If you guys want questions answered, you just, help put in the super chat, help support me with super chat or super thanks. I can get your questions answered, but thank you very much. This really is about understanding that this individual is just going to cause pain over and over again, no matter what they tell you, because they will tell you lovely things that you want to hear. They're going to tell you what you want to hear. That's what they do. That's how they've learned to be. Like how I explained how they were as kids. As Doreen says, trauma over and over. Yeah. Because that is their life. Like when you're with people like this, all right, one thing that you will realize is that when you're in close proximity with toxic individuals, they show you a window into their world. And you can see how dark and disastrous and destructive it really is. Because the gaslighting, the lies that they tell you, they believe those lies. They believe what they are telling you. It is, Tracy, it is emotional and mental abuse, but do you think they care? Do you think they care that they do that? They're getting their needs met. They've got a different agenda going. So the fact that we let go and we leave, we go no contact, yes, it kills us short term, but we get through this. We move forward. We have to move forward. It's like what I said, if you're going to stay in victim mentality and think, oh, this has happened to me, like I can't move forward, I can't do this, I can't do that. You're feeding yourself that you can't do it. And this is neuro-linguistic programming. Because the way that you speak to yourself, the way that you perceive yourself is what you keep telling yourself. Like, for example, oh, I can't go no contact from this person. I really love them. I really want them. Why can't they change? So this is creating two things. Number one, a lack, that you can't have this person or you're not good enough. Okay, so imagine or think about the emotions that are attached to that. Okay, so it's a lack, it's a loss, and you can't have them because you're not good enough. And second of all, if you're saying this out loud to people, or you're saying this out aloud, this is the narrative that you're feeding yourself. So you create these beliefs. And so what happens over time? You keep saying it because this is what you believe at this time, because yes, it's very painful that this person has gone, you know, like you're not in relationship with this person, or the family member, you know, you're not speaking with them. Yes, it's really painful. There is a loss. You've got to grieve that person, you know, that relationship in that life. So this then becomes your narrative and your belief. This is what you're creating, these beliefs. Are they true? Really? Are they true? Are they that you're not good enough? Is it that you can't have this person? You can have this person. Thank you so much, Sandeep and Yang. Thank you. Sandeep says, how does a narcissist change by age? How does a narcissist change by age and their old age? Sandeep, they don't change. They don't change. Okay. They do change in a way. Okay, they do change in a way that their barriers or it just goes. They just become more impatient. They become more angrier. They're more rageful. They just don't care anymore. They just don't care whatsoever. And so that's why maybe their emotions and their reactions are a lot more raw. You know, like, that's the way that they will change. That's the way that they will initiate their behavior. That's why it feels so much more intense. So being around an old age narcissist, like, they decline because they just don't care anymore. They don't have the same needs and wants and values, you know, for attention. Because when they get older, their need for validation changes. And so yeah, they just become more raw. So I hope that answers your question, Sandeep. Sorry, yes, I should read the donation. Yes, please do press the like button. This is such a great live stream. I'm really enjoying it. I don't know if you guys are as well. If you were to press the like button, that I will really know if this is information that you guys want to know about, or if it's something that you want me to expand more about. So I would, you know, like, it really helps me to understand that the content that I'm kind of giving out here is the information that you guys want to hear. So please do press the like button. Thank you, Yang. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you for your videos. Is their manipulation really intentional? He seemed like a stranger during the discard, even his facial expressions. Matthew, yes, the manipulation is intentional. And I know that's probably really hard for you to hear, but yes, it's done intentionally. They do know what they're doing. When they're going out sleeping with other people, they do know what they're doing, because you make a decision and it's a need that, you know, like, if somebody wants to sleep with somebody else, or if somebody wants to cheat on someone, that is intentional, then they're going to do it. Okay, you can't stop someone. You can't prevent it from happening. You can't talk someone out of it. If someone is going to cheat, they're going to cheat, and they've made an intentional choice that is what they want to do. So even though the manipulation and the things that person had told you made you think that maybe they didn't know what they were doing, but 100% they did. I feel, Matthew, that person was telling you what you wanted to hear at that time. And I know that's not easy to hear, but it's the truth. And yes, the coldness that you experienced from this person, it just shows that they are detached, and they were discarding you. But I do feel, Matthew, that he'll probably come back. You will hear from this person, because as we know, guys, they always come back. They always try and, make some form of communication. They always come back. So it is something that we have to really put barriers, put protection in place, that actually we need to protect ourselves because these individuals will be paying us a visit. Maybe not literally, but maybe they might get in contact with you, maybe on your social media, on your DMs, on your emails, whatever it is, they'll make some form of contact. Believe me, they always do. They show up like a bad penny. So yes. So I hope that's answered your question, Matthew. And sorry if it was harsh, but it's the truth. Like they manipulate and they know what they're doing for sure. For sure. Because you're getting an outcome. You're trying, you want to get a certain outcome. So you're going to make sure that you get that. They don't leave things to chance. They know what they're doing. For sure, they know what they're doing. Definitely. That's right. The virtual Deb, you have to accept who they are, and they are not good people. They're not. So this is why boundaries is so important in every aspect. Every aspect. It is about no contact. I know it goes against our very principles and it is very difficult, but actually you're doing this for yourself. You're not doing this to hurt anybody. You're doing this because, you're trying to protect you. You are wanting to protect you because this is, it's like what I said, this life is yours. This is about you and your life. All right, hold on a minute. I'm going to tell you guys something. When you guys, right, go back to childhood. Do you remember when you were like, maybe in high school, secondary school, junior school, and you guys were asked the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? Like, how do you see your life, as when you get older? Did you guys ever imagine that it would be like this, that this would happen? Of course you didn't. Of course you didn't. So how did you imagine it to be? How did you want your life to turn out? How did you expect it to be? And I'm sure that a lot of you didn't think that this was going to happen. So this is what I'm saying. You've got to go back to that time, where you knew as a kid, you knew who you wanted to be, where you wanted to be. I did. I knew who I wanted to be. I wanted to be a pop star, on stage singing. I wanted to be Britney Spears. Yeah, but that's so not going to happen because I can't sing. I can dance, but I can't sing, so I'm not going to get very far. But anyway, that was my dream. I wanted to be a pop star. And so this is what it's really about. It's really about connecting to you and what are your needs? What are your wants? How are you going to get past this? How are you going to level up and see past this? Because so many of us are stuck, in our mindset, like, oh, this person is this. Oh, this person is a narcissist. Oh, this person this has happened to me. Like, I can't get through this. Like my life is over. Your life is just beginning. Your life is just getting started. You are now in the next chapter of your life. You are now going to the next level. Yeah, Brittany's cool, isn't she? She's really good. You're going to the next level now. This isn't, you're done living small. Like, you're done people putting you down and thinking, oh, I'm not good enough. I can't do this. That's not what your life is about. You aim big. So that's the kind of likeness that I'm trying to kind of say, is that, when you were younger, you had aspirations. You had places to be, people to see, like things to do. Not worrying about this person who is just, let's face it, like, they're dead from the inside out. Like, what is this person going to do? Like, what is this person even going to provide you? Like, do anything for you? Like, this is about you. And, going forward, shaping, creating your life. Sandeep, yes, thank you very much. Fatherless son, brought up entirely and controlled by mother. My friend suspects him to be a narc. Please explain narcissistic son-mother relationships. Oh, Sandeep, you're opening up a whole can of worms there. Oh, my goodness. Okay, of course I will explain it. They are one of the strangest attachments that I have ever really like learned about or understood. So if we go back to Freudian theory, he talked about the Oedipal complex. There's the Oedipus complex and the Electra complex. So where it becomes problematic is the mother and the son relationship is fraught with problems because there is a very strange attachment where there is emotional, in most cases there is something called emotional incest, where the mother relies on the son to be able to provide them emotional and psychological support, highlighting the word emotional. So the boundaries would have been crossed. The son will then develop feelings for the mother, and I'm talking, yes, those feelings, loving feelings for the mother. But at some point or at some level, they know that they can't be with their mother in that way. They may develop sexual feelings towards their mother. I know, I'm sorry, this is just going on another level, but this is what it's about, and Freud wrote about it. So there is this polarity that happens. Okay, so because of this emotional incest, the son doesn't know where to find themselves. So it's a bit of a weird thing that, like you have these feelings for your mother, yet you know that they are not right. So the son then understands that the mother isn't somebody that they can have. So they kind of put the mother on a pedestal. Matthew, I will answer your question in a moment. Have you heard of them using a demon voice and their eyes turning black? It happened to me, so scary. Matthew, I will be answering your question in a moment. So this is why this understanding of love is very displaced, because they feel that there is something that they can't have, yet it's something that they cannot have because of the dysfunctional feelings that they've had for their mother. This is why they then go on to have it's called the Madonna whore complex. I don't know if any of you have come across that before. Yes, I know, Naomi, like that's exactly how I felt when I first heard about it. So they see their mother as Madonna, they put them on a pedestal, they worship the mother, but they cannot have sex with the mother. This is why they then have whores, because they can sleep with the whores, but they have no attachment. It's no feeling, anything like that. They're just used for one thing and one thing only, which is what happens in these narcissistic relationships, that actually when the narcissist has that displaced feeling for the female, they will put them on a pedestal. But this is why there's no kind of intimacy or anything that happens, because that kind of experience then kicks in. And this is why they have like people on the side. I hope that answers the question. I tried to make it as family friendly as possible, but there's so many levels to this. It is so weird. Like, it is so strange. But yes, if any of you want to look it up, it's called the Madonna whore complex or the Oedipus complex. Remember that this is more of the pathological side of it. It's not every narcissist would have gone through this. So if you guys want to know more, please do have a look at it. In my early videos, I did actually talk about this because, yeah, like, guys, seriously, like, this is the most... It's attachment disorder. Ultimately, if we're looking at this is attachment disorder, where they can't attach in a healthy way. Like, how do you attach onto your parent? Because this works the other way as well, daughter to father. So this is the Electra complex. So it's where the daughter then also has feelings towards their father. Sometimes, just gotta put this in there, that sometimes it does go to the other level where the parent will sleep with their offspring, with their child. Or sibling, child, like, this is where that disconnect happens. So there is very, very dire consequences when narcissistic individuals experience this. It isn't a normal part of, obviously, of growing up, but it is an attachment disorder. So Sandeep, I really hope that answers your question about the narcissist mother and son, but it also is the narcissist father and daughter. Remember, this happens in dysfunctional households. This isn't something that is quite common. It is a very specialist subject, to put it lightly. So yes, so it's all about emotional incest and attachment disorder. Right. So Matthew, yes, the demonic eyes, the dark eyes, and the facial changes. Do you know? I've also talked about this in the early days. This is going to a whole nother level again. So if we're going there, we're gonna go there, guys. We're gonna go there with all the weirdness. Um, yes, I also have seen it. I have seen the eyes changing. I did a talk about this. Oh, I did. No, not a talk. An interview with. Oh my God, I forgot her name. Eve Logan. So this is something that she talks about hosting. Um, she talked about how this is something that can happen. So I really encourage you to watch that interview that I did with her. It's probably something I done something like this probably about 2 years ago. Um, I will find it. I will find it, and what I will do is I'll link it for those of you who want to, who would like to watch it. But she talks more about this and why this happens. But yes, Mr. J, you're right. It is soulless eyes. You know, when you look at this person's eyes, there is just nothingness. There's this darkness that exists. That trauma has kind of beaten the life out of them, which, yes, of course it has. But remember, if you're going around hurting, abusing, traumatizing individuals, then, you know, karma does have its way of coming back. Like, you know, it is going to play a role in your life. It is something that is going to pay a visit to you. And so maybe life has caught up with them, which actually there isn't a maybe, it has. And so you can see in their eyes there is a lot of pain, sadness, nothingness, just black void. You know, I find that the people's eyes are very interesting. It tells a lot about a person, what their eyes are like. You can tell. I don't know about you guys, but this is how I work. You know, when I work with clients, I can tell a lot about a person by their eyes. I guess not every therapist or psychologist can do that, but I'm just saying that that's how I work. That's how you get to know what somebody is like. The eyes are the windows to the soul, right? So it is something to pay attention. It is something that, you know, you guys should notice about people, new people that you meet. But yes, you can tell a lot about a person and their eyes. There's also reports, or there's also things that I've read about, is that actually their facial construct, their face actually changes. So I don't know if that's something that any of you had experienced. I hadn't. I just understand that I've seen the eyes change. Definitely. And a lot of you are saying about the eyes, yeah, that you've seen the black eyes too. So it's a phenomenon that exists. It's a phenomenon that is actually, it is happening. It is something that does, yeah, it's creepy. It's very strange. So yes, it is a phenomenon. It is something that is real. Um, it is about, you know, the window to your soul, isn't it? It's black holes. You're absolutely right. It's I don't know whether that's something that happens chemically that changes, or whether it's just it's to do with your soul, really, isn't it? When your soul is gone, the eyes show it, don't they? They don't sparkle. They're not bright. They're not themselves. So yes, there is all of this, and that's why you need to let go. That should be like part of the reason why you need to let go of this person. You see who they are. You see what they've done. We talked about the attachments, talked about their eyes. You know, it's this person is not okay. You're not going to be able to fix them. And it's about, I know that when the evening or the nighttime comes and, you know, you're on your own and you're there left to think about things, and you're thinking to yourself, yeah, maybe, but what if? There isn't a maybe and there isn't a what if. This is who they are. If you're enjoying the live stream, please do press the like button. Let's get this information out there so more people can access the help, because obviously, like, this is a thing and we want to get this information out there. And if you have any questions, please just send it on super chat, because I can't always see you know, the questions if you're asking them. So I do apologize, because it does go so quickly. But yeah, like, you know, you're there at night and you're thinking, oh, I'm on my own. But this could have been like this. This could have been so wonderful. Okay, I would do that. Sorry, I was just reading the comments. Sorry. Yeah, and you're thinking, oh my God, you know, I'm on my own. What am I going to do? And it's hard at those times, because those thoughts do creep up, and it does make it very difficult for you to think, okay, like, oh, you know, I remember this and I know that they've said this. I know that this has happened. You've got to override these feelings. You've got to override these thoughts. Okay, because the feelings and the thoughts will come. You've got to override it, because you know the truth. You know, our mind does play tricks on us, because we always go back to what we know. The path of least resistance. Remember, it's our instinct. We're always going to go back to something that we are already familiar with, something that feels comfortable. That is what we're always going to do. So we have to override this. It's like I was giving the analogy, you know, going to the gym, for example. I haven't been very consistent with the gym, but I have gone. I didn't really want to go. Yes, I was out of breath. I was in Greece and I didn't go, and it was like, you know, like so out of breath. I didn't have the condition. Thank you so much, Tiffany. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, hon. You know, I was in Greece and I didn't do any workouts whatsoever. I did a lot of walking, but it's not the same, you know, like when you're doing weights and all of that. So, you know, when I got back to the gym and I was like, yeah, this isn't good. This is not good. And so I was out of breath, really tired, had to have a nap, all the rest of it, and very hungry. So I wasn't consistent, didn't do it consistently. So I had to override that thought where I was thinking, Anushka, you know, it's still part of the Christmas holidays. You don't need to go. Don't worry about it. Just sit on the sofa, watch a film, watch something on Netflix, watch the Disney Channel. You know what? It's so much better. You don't need to go. But I had to override that, because if I didn't go, then it just longs it out, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm just going to be so unfit. But I'm glad that I went. Yes, I was out of breath. Yes, it was tough. But this is what I'm saying to you guys. You're going to get those thoughts. You're going to think that you've made the wrong decision or the worst decision by leaving them, by going, or going no contact, or, you know, by getting in contact with them. Because the pain that you're feeling right now is caused by them. But it's such a weird analogy, because all you want to do is contact them and tell them that you're in this pain, because you know that they're the only ones that can make it feel better. Like, how crazy does that sound? Like, really, how crazy does that sound? You don't need them. What have they brought into your life? Happiness, contentment, lovely relationship. Of course they haven't. Look at what they've done. They tried to destroy you, trying to make a fool out of you, make you feel worthless. They don't notice you. They made you feel awful. And I know it's really hard, again, like at those times when you're thinking, oh, but this, oh, but that, like maybe it could have been this, maybe it could have been that. But this is what you've got to remind yourself. It's what you have got to remind yourself. What you are dealing with here. What is going on for you? You're mentally, we are going to go back, like what I said, we're going to go back to what is comfortable. We're going to do what is comfortable, because it's the path of least resistance. You've got to override this. This is NLP. Neuro-linguistic programming. Remember, how you speak to yourself is how you have beliefs about yourself. This then becomes your narrative. Oh, I can't do this. This is too hard. This is ruining my life. Like, why were they like this to me? Not you need to get out of this victim mentality. You need to see it for what it really is. This is abuse, guys. This is trauma. We have to see it for what it is. You are better than that. You deserve so much more than that. This is not what your life is meant to be. Trying to help someone else, trying to be somebody else's emotional slave. That's not what this is about. Thank you so much, the guy next door. Thank you. Why do I have this fear of commitment? I have bailed out of several interactions with women online. They started the narc alarm in my tummy. Okay, so what I'm going to say to you, that this is actually very normal. It's a very normal response, because you probably have got to a certain point in the interaction with these women online, and then you've thought, oh my God, like, they're doing this, they're doing that. And it's fine. It doesn't mean that you're going to be stuck in this. What will happen is you will learn to relax a little bit, and you'll be able to go with the flow. But at the moment, I would say, trust your instinct. It could be that actually you were right. Like, these people are not okay. These women were quite toxic, and you've recognized that, and you've thought, right, I'm getting out of here. You know, so that's another thing that you have to kind of also realize. And I just wanted to say that it's okay, it's normal, and it's fine, but you're not going to be in this state for the rest of your life. You look, if a woman came along and she was kind, compassionate, she made you feel comfortable, you wouldn't have to leave. You wouldn't go. So there's probably something in those interactions with these women that have made you feel like that. So I would say to you, trust that. But what I will also say, it's not going to be like this forever. You will be able to trust someone going forward. It will feel a bit strange, and you may want to just run, but it's okay. It's to be expected. This is part of your protection, you know, like, you're wanting to protect yourself to not get hurt. So this is the fight or flight, guys, isn't it? It's the fight, flight, or freeze. So either we're going to fight it, or we're going to run, or we're going to freeze. So these are our protective mechanisms that kick in. So I just want to say that it is normal, and it's okay. You will get through this, and it's good. Do you know what I would say? It's really good that you are not practicing, but experiencing, you know, dating and talking to women. You know, it helps to open up. I'm glad that this person didn't completely stop that for you, because it does. They do for a lot of people. Like, a lot of people don't have, you know, the confidence or the trust in another person to be able to, you know, be vulnerable and get into a relationship with someone else, because it does take time to, you know, to get over something like this and to be able to trust someone else. But what I will say to you guys is, just go with the flow. You know, like, when you're meeting someone, let it, you know, get to know that person, take your time. You know, with these toxic relationships, they just want everything done like today or yesterday, however the saying goes. But that's what I mean. It's like, you've just got to take your time, get to know that person. And if you feel like there's something weird going on, just go. You don't need to have understand or explanations or why this has happened. If it doesn't feel safe, you need to be able to trust your intuition or your gut feeling to be able to know to make that right choice. Do you know what I mean? So I hope that helps all of you, actually, because I know that it's really difficult to start, you know, like, dating after this experience, because it's been so traumatic. It's not easy. And this is what I mean. When you let go of this person, you are going to be able to open yourself up to new, wonderful, nourishing, you know, experiences and relationships with people going forward. But you have to let go of them. You just have to just go, right, bye. That's how you got to think of it. Who's that talking about drum and bass? She's a keeper. Most narcs hate drum and bass for some reason. Do they? I didn't know. Sandeep. Okay, Sandeep, thank you very much. Is it a good idea for two victims to get married? Sandeep, that's a really good question, actually. There's no reason why two victims of narcissistic abuse cannot get married. If they have worked on their trauma, they understand what has happened, they understand what their triggers are, and any kind of abandonment issues or internal narratives that are going on for them. If they've done the work, then yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Why not? That means that's two empathetic individuals that get together like, oh my God, that's just going to be the most amazing relationship. But, they've got to have done the work. They've got to understand that what they have been through and understand there's got to be a lot of compassion between the two of them and a lot of time for them to be able to open up and be themselves because of these traumatic situations and experiences that they would have had within that relationship. Then yeah, it's just going to put a bit of a cloud on it if the people haven't done the work. Sadie, what is the name of your book? Oh gosh, yes, my book. Guys, talking of which, I haven't written it for such a long time. So the name of my book is called Self-Generation, The Restoration of You. Basically, what it's about is how you level up, how you move forward, how you have got already those resources that you need within you. You just need to be able to access them. And it's exactly what I said right at the beginning of this live, is that actually, you know what, you have got all of that power within you. Do you know how powerful you actually are? And it's only the fear that stops us. And fear actually is not real. Fear is built up of life experience, other people's opinions, other people's thoughts, things that you have thought about yourself. It's not real. We're led to believe that we are governed or we are controlled by our fear. But we got to rise above that. Yes, we all feel fear because this is what we had experienced before. This is what we have gone through before. So what we're doing is we're recalling that memory and think, oh yeah, so it was worked out like this, or this has happened like this. And so that we just reenact that. We just call upon that memory and we make it our belief. Again, do you know this is that neuro-linguistic programming, that self-narrative that we feed ourselves? If you're going to fall victim to your fear, then you're going to stay stuck. You're not going to be able to move forward from this because you're going to always think that you're not good enough, that you can't do this. And this is something that you're going to constantly keep saying to yourself. But you have to rise above it. You have to see that actually the fear is not yours to take on. Yes, you'll feel it. I'm not saying that it's fake. I'm not saying that you're not going to experience it. Of course you are. It is there. But you have to override this. Because think about it. You've always listened to your fear. You've always given into your fear. You've done, you've thought what, you've always thought or believed the thoughts that your fear has told you. And look where it's got you. Look where you are now. Where's it got you? Nowhere positive. So this is what I'm saying. You've got to override that and think, okay, yes, it's scary. It's not great. The experiences that you've gone through and where you are in your life. Yes, nobody wanted to be here. Nobody wanted to be in this position. But let's look at it, okay, in a different perspective and think, okay, so I'm here now. I'm not gonna see this as something that's really bad. This is gonna give me an opportunity to build. This is the next chapter in my life. How am I gonna make my life work for me? Because this is my life. This is mine. I'm not here to serve somebody else. I'm not here to make somebody else better. This is mine. So I'm going to do what is good for me. And that isn't selfish. Choosing yourself isn't selfish. So when you make that choice, the fear surrounding it becomes a little bit less because you're choosing yourself. You're choosing to be the most important person in your life. When you give up on yourself, right? When you don't see yourself as important. You open yourself up to these experiences because that person, aka the narcissist or the toxic individual, can pick that up when you don't have self-worth, self-esteem, confidence. They pick up on it. It's the way that you hold yourself. It's the way that you speak about yourself. It's the way that you emanate that energy. Thank you so much for purchasing the journal prompts. Thank you. They'll be out on Monday. You know, when you don't have that confidence about you, that other person picks up on it and they exploit that, as you would have experienced. They don't see it as something that they can help protect you or do something good with it. It's more about how they can exploit you, how they can take advantage of you. So can you see how allowing your fear, how talking negatively about yourself, how having these negative self-narrative, not building your self-confidence, your self-worth, not standing tall, not feeling good enough. Can you see how that opens you up to more of this to come into your life? Because these people look out for people like that. So this is really important for you to understand it in this perspective, to understand it in a different mindset. Because you've done that. You've tried that bit, you know, where you've been very modest, you've been very kind, you want to help other people. And look, you are here because this person took advantage. This person didn't have your best interest at heart. And also, it's not their responsibility. They don't care. They don't care about you, how you feel, how their actions are making you feel. So letting go of somebody like this is what is going to save your life on so many levels. Not only psychologically, but also emotionally and also physically as well. Because when your body is under tremendous strain, when you're experiencing stress or anxiety, it produces a number of hormones. And one of them being cortisol, which is a poison to the body. It attaches itself to various organs within the body because it goes into our bloodstream, because our hormones do. And mix that with adrenaline, it's kind of like rocket fuel. Amazing at the time, don't get me wrong, it's amazing at the time. But the effects that it has to our body, it's worse than, than drinking alcohol every day. It's worse than taking drugs. The effects are really bad because they're long lasting. So if you're not letting go of this person, these are the consequences. It is literally going to kill you because that's what happens. There's a lot of research done about it, so you can look it up online, of how trauma, how anxiety affects the body, because the body prepares itself for either fight, flight, or freeze. That's what it's doing. So if you're not looking after yourself, you're not leveling up, you're not choosing yourself first, then this is the consequences. Thank you so much, Omar. I really appreciate that. Thank you. So it affects our health in a big way. It affects our mental health as well. So this is what I'm saying about the next chapter in your life. You need to choose you. You need to choose you. The narcissists will continue to come back. You again need to put a stop to this. You will also think about them. You will also ruminate about them. But you need to put a stop to that. You need to lessen it. That's what you need to do. You need to pick you. Letting go of someone also, we've got to see the attachment that we have to this person. And I think I did a video about this. It's just come to mind that I was thinking like, oh yeah, I should talk about this. Is the attachment bond that you have to the narcissist. You know, when you would have attached onto them, you would have attached them in a really strong way. Yes, there would have been this trauma bond. There would, you know, there's also this strong kind of like pull towards them. This is the attachment that we have to this person because we feel like we have to be their caregiver. We feel like we have to protect them in some way. We feel like we have to be their parent in some way. But let me ask you, all right, is that what a relationship should be about? That you've got to protect someone, you've got to be someone's parent, you've got to be someone's caregiver. I mean, like, really, how much fun is that? Because you're the one that's always got to look out for them. You're the one that's always got to think, oh, are they okay? They're not going to do that for you. You end up doing it for them. Like, how much fun is that? It's not. So this is the other thing that you need to think about is, yes, you're experiencing this trauma bond. Yes, it's really hard, you know, being in no contact. But again, you've got to override this. Because, again, what's the alternative? You stay in victim mentality, they come back and, you know, you feel awful about yourself, you know, because that's what they do. They're just going to take energy from you. That's not fair on you. So what I am going to say, guys, is if you guys are really serious about letting go, type in the chat, I'm going to let them go, or letting go. So we know that we are on the same page here. JC, thank you so much. How do we defo know they're a narc and not just very abused and broken? And shouldn't we... Oh my God, that's gone so fast. Hold on. And should we give a chance if they agree to therapy? Can they stop addiction? Okay, this is a great question. And yes, of course, I completely understand. Not every narcissist is very easily detectable, and someone who has been abused and broken doesn't mean that they are a narcissist. Again, I'm just going to say to you that that's a label, and if that helps you to understand the situation, then okay. But what I'm saying, these are labels. So again, we don't know if this person is or isn't. And what you have to think about, okay, so this person has been abused and has been broken. They need to do the work. And if they've agreed to therapy, then amazing. But I think also you need to give them that space and time. I've worked in addiction for quite a number of years, and addiction is a tough monster to kind of try and conquer. It's not impossible, but that person has to really want to stop the substance that they are taking. And the reason why they're taking that substance is because, you know, there's something that's so traumatic that has happened in their life. They're just trying to cope. They're kind of self-medicating. But if this person is ready to go into therapy, they need that time and space to be able to go forward and be able to make that right decision and to be able to move forward from, you know, and heal from what they have gone through. If they're a narcissist, if they're like a full-blown pathological narcissist, then I don't know if therapy will really work, if they're really going to... If therapy is going to really work for them. But look, what I'm saying is, let's give this person a chance. Doesn't mean that you have to be the caretaker for that person. What I am saying to you is you can be there in a different capacity, because also when someone is going through an addiction and they are trying to heal from it, you as a partner or someone that you know they're very close to or they love will also be going through it, and there are a lot of emotional highs and lows. So if that person is going through it, make sure that you're also looking after yourself, because you're going to also be on that journey too. So yeah, sure, see what happens. But if they are a narcissist, then I don't know how therapy will really be successful. But let's see what happens. So JC, I really hope that answers your question. I hope that it gives more understanding to, you know, like what's going on for you. It's really tough, isn't it, when you really care about this person. But it's like what I said, you know, like if you're going to be the caregiver for this person, if you're going to be there kind of looking after that person's needs, you're taking that time and that energy away from you. You're not looking after your own needs. So it's really important that you choose yourself first. Oh, I love that. The guy next door letting go. Adios, Cruella. Goodbye, Witchy. So guys, did you type letting go? I don't know. I can't see. You haven't. Guys, are you guys going to let go? Is this going to be a thing that you do? You're going to let go of this person? A strong mindset is what you guys need. It's something that you need to do is choose yourself. Oh, this is brilliant. Yes, Narc Free 2003, letting them go. Absolutely, this is about letting them go. This is about choosing yourself. When you let go, you choose yourself. This Narc Free 2003. Yes. Yes, let them go for yourself. That's right, Tyrone. It's amazing. That's right. You guys do deserve the best in life because it is your choice at the end of the day. It's your choice how you want to continue, how you want to feel in your life, because they'll keep coming back, they'll keep taking because they can, because you're letting them. Yeah, that's also very true, that therapy also requires healthy and realistic expectations. That's true. Is that person has got to want to go into therapy. It's true. Block them everywhere, make them disappear, and they'll suffer with narcissistic injury. No explanation. Yes. Yes. They hate it, don't they? They really, really hate it when you just show no emotion, when you block them. They really hate it. It's funny that, isn't it? When they show up or when they try and communicate to you, don't you think that's really bad that they just do that? Because they feel so entitled, because they feel like they own you. They feel like this entitlement that they can do that. Like they hate it not being able to have any contact with you. And it has no respect for you because you're like saying, you know what, like give me space. And they don't want to give you that. You know why? Because they feel again that they own you. They own you as a person. They own you as a person, I guess. You know, like why would you not want to do that? When somebody doesn't want to speak to you, like I don't know, if someone did that to me, I'd be like, oh, you know, like, oh, okay, they don't want to speak to me. That's fine. I'm not gonna push it. But they do. And this is what you have to remember. It is about boundaries. It is about sticking up for yourself. It is about putting that barrier between you and that person. You know, energetically as well, when you have these people around you, you know, energetically this person takes as well. They take your kindness, your goodness. your life force. You know, when two people are in close proximity for quite a length of time, they end up thinking like each other. They end up thinking, like picking up little phrases or thinking. Their mindset becomes the same. So think about the time when you were with them. You know, how was your mindset? Was it healthy? Did you suffer a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of depression, a lot of despair? Because what you're doing is you're picking up on their way of thinking, and then you kind of adopt it as your own. And then, you know, even when that person does leave, you're still left with that mindset. When funny that you didn't think like that before. But now, this is the way that you are thinking, the way that you are predisposed. Also, we have something called the mirror neuron. Oops, nearly knocked the mic off then. We also have something called the mirror neuron. We end up behaving like the people that are around us, or the people that we spend a lot of time with. So this is another thing that you need to think about. Who you let in to be around you, who you allow access to. Your energy is very important to you. You need to keep that for you. But when you're giving it out, when you're thinking about that person, you're depleting yourself of that. You're not nourishing yourself. M. Singh, thank you so much. It's going to be a year of no contact this month. I haven't heard from him once. I try not to, but sometimes I wonder if he's happy and moved on. I need to stop. M. Singh, bless you. Congratulations. A whole year of no contact. This is amazing. You are amazing. Guys, it can be done. Look, this is proof. Do you know what I'm going to say to you? It's normal that you're probably thinking about this person. It's normal to think like, you know, how, you know, this relationship just kind of fell apart and what that person is doing. Do you know what I'm going to say to you is, so what if he has? So what if he's moved on? Moving on doesn't mean the same thing like when we move on. Moving on for them is just getting somebody else who's going to be compliant, who's going to meet their needs. That's what it means. This guy is not going to feel love. This guy doesn't feel love. He doesn't understand love in the same way that me or you do. And I did a video all about this yesterday. Actually, yesterday's video, I talked more about like how the narcissist loves you. But that isn't going to change just because you guys are not together. That's, you know, because you guys are not in a relationship together, that it means that that person has now leveled up, they're doing better and they've moved on. No. Narcissists are stuck in their ways. They're not interested in changing. This is what we've been talking about. They don't want to go therapy. They don't want to do the internal work. They're not changing. What if he has moved on? Then it's all about getting his needs met. He wants attention and validation. And if another woman is doing that for him, then great. But he's probably got 2 or 3 of them as well, probably on the side. He doesn't just get it from one person. There's going to be a few more people that he gets that from. So if you're thinking that he's moved on and happy, that doesn't exist for narcissists. They don't move on and be happy. For sure they don't. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. So yeah, like talking about the energy side of it, isn't it funny that they need to come back? They want to feel better because they need to come in close proximity to you. They want your energy. They want to know if you still care about them. They want to know if they still can affect you. And that's why they do it, because it's your energy. There's something about you that they like. And they want that energy. They want to be around you. So if you're giving that out, sorry, I was just reading this comment. Anushka, your hoodie has all but made famous and infamous in the neighborhood, no lie. When I tell people that you do what they do, they laugh. I love it. Oh, okay, Eric. How has my hoodie made it famous in your neighborhood? Which one are you talking about? Write it in the comments. I'll try and catch it. But yeah, like, so they want to come back because they want more of your energy. And isn't it funny that they have to do that because they can't do that for themselves? They want to siphon it from you. So when you're giving it out, when you're doing that for somebody else, you're not giving it to you. When actually you're the most important. How dare someone come in and want to disturb your peace like that? Like, I mean, who are they seriously? And this is what you're missing? You're missing that person doing that to you? Really? Time to let go. Time to say goodbye. I'm done. That's it. Because their toxicity is what you experienced. You know, if you're in a healthy relationship, right, that person isn't going to make you feel depleted. That person isn't going to ask you to solve their problems. That person isn't going to bring chaos and problems to your life. You know, the two of you are going to work together to build each other up, okay? This is about reciprocation. This is about having respect for one another. Did they do that for you? Did you experience that in that relationship? I know what the answer is going to be. Of course you didn't. They put you down to make themselves feel better. That's what they did. When you're in a healthy relationship, one person doesn't cheat on another. That doesn't happen because you have respect for one another. You're just not going to do that. And these are the things that you guys need to think about. I know that you loved them at one point. I know that they felt they were so good. And yes, there probably are, you know, like good times. But there are also snippets of time. And you're going to have good times with other people. People who really care about you. People who really value you. So when you're sitting there in your bed at night thinking, oh, I really miss them. I really want them. Remember what you've got to do. You've got to override that. Because that is your mind playing tricks on you and you're going to the path of least resistance. That's what's happening. Sandeep, thank you very much. What are the differences between male and female narcissists? Good question. Okay, so for a male narcissist, there isn't much in it because what we're talking about is a personality disorder. It's a disordered personality trait. We've all got a personality, but for these people, they have a disordered personality. So the way that they see things, the way they perceive the outside stimuli, the outside world is a little bit different to the way that we do. So also added to that, they have an attachment disorder. So they don't attach onto people in the same way that me or you do, which is why it's called an attachment disorder. So the way that the way that a male or female narcissist is going to want to get supply is going to be a little bit different. So for example, with a female narcissist, it really depends. It really depends on the person again. So for a female narcissist, she's going to be quite seductive. Maybe she's going to be quite sexualized. Maybe this is how she will get her attention is from men, from being overtly sexual. It's kind of like, so her needs have to be met possibly in a very overt kind of sexual way. I would say there's more kind of emphasis on the sexual part there. She's going to be very beautiful, could be very beautiful, quite a very dominant kind of presence as well. Possibly, not always. Maybe she could be the victim as well. So there's another level of that. But for a male narcissist, it's going to be all about the charm. Oh yes, my friends, it's not going to be about the charm, and it's all going to be about the control, about them telling you what to do. And it's about just general, both of them are going to be manipulating, both of them are going to want control, but I think the male narcissist probably does this in a more obvious way than what a woman would do. A woman is all about trying to, for a woman, it's about seduction. For a male, it's all about charm. So I think that's where the difference is. But if you really think about it, it's very similar motivations for what they do. They both want to get their needs met. They're just going to go about it in different ways to try and get that. You know, whilst a woman could also be quite charming, whilst a man can also be quite seductive. So there is overlap. There is overlap on that, but I hope that answers the question. So yeah. So the energy, that's what we were talking about, the energy. You're going to, you don't need someone to be stealing it. You don't need someone to be taking that from you. So you've got to take that back. You've got to nourish yourself. And talking about nourishment, this is about getting the right food for you. When we are stressed, when we're upset, when we're angry, when we are not feeling great, we're not going to eat well. We're going to want really salty foods or really sweet foods. This isn't good for us. We have to think about how we nourish ourselves, how we are going to be healthy, how we are going to go forward. Because remember, food also carries energy. It's about getting good quality food, like trying to eat organic as much as possible. I have to say that when I was in Greece, actually, the food was so lovely. Like you could taste, and I know I've talked about this before, but you could taste the food. Like now in the UK, as I've come back, it's gone back to bland. I don't know if any of you as well from the UK like find that when you go, abroad, the food is different. You can taste it. Those of you who are probably not from the UK, probably thinking, what is she talking about? But it's honestly, the food is completely different. You like a tomato tastes like a tomato, not just red water. This is what we have here in the UK. Even if you buy organic, it's the same. No worries, Sean. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. We'll see you next week. You have to be up at 6. I'm not surprised. Yes, go sleep. Good night. Hope you sleep well. And talking of which, sleep. How many of you are sleeping? How many of you are getting the right amount of hours, for sleeping? Because this is also really important. For those of you that have just joined, please do press the like button. I'd really, really appreciate it. So, sleep. Yes. Sleep is really important. Are you guys sleeping like 8 hours, or is it more like 6? Because this is going to have a massive effect on your health. This is going to be really, really important for your health and how you retain energy levels during the day. I know that sometimes I have to have a nap during the day. Not every day, most days, because my energy also gets depleted. Sometimes when I'm thinking a lot, when I'm like running around doing things, but mostly when I'm thinking a lot, when I'm working with clients, when I'm creating content for YouTube, it does take a lot. Sandeep, thank you very much. Can two narcs get into a relationship? Do they attract? Yeah, they do. They do, Sandeep. They do get into relationships. They never last long. And again, the motivation for that is all very quite sexual. But those relationships don't last because one cannot meet the needs of another and the other cannot meet the needs of another. So yeah, two narcissists can be in a relationship together. They do attract. So remember, they're very good looking people. They are. A lot of them, not always, not all of them. But for example, if a female, her motivation is sex, so she's got to look desirable, doesn't she? She's got to look seductive. So they'll place a lot of attention on looking good. So it's about getting that right amount of sleep. Yes, that's what I was saying. Yeah, I do nap. But that's because I need to top up literally 10, 15, maximum 20 minutes. Yes, and it has to be on the sofa. I can't sleep in my bed because my bed is for the night. I don't know why I've had this weird thing. I remember sometimes, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. I'm going to say it because I've started saying it now. When I worked at the hospital, I worked with Alzheimer's. I worked a lot with dementia. I did that for 5 years. I used to work for therapeutic activities for people who have dementia. And I don't know about you guys, but if any of you've had experience with people, who, or have relatives or know anyone that does have dementia, you know how draining and how hard that work can be. So working in that on the wards, like with nurses and with doctors, I'd need my nap. And where am I going to go and sleep when I've got, I'm on the ward? I couldn't. So at lunchtime, I would literally go to my car. Yes, my friends, I would go to my car and I would sleep. And that was my lunch break. I would sleep. Not every day, but most days. But this is what I mean. Sleep is so important. Sleep is something that's going to retain your energy levels. Do you know, I read this book by this neurologist. I forgot the name of the person who wrote it. I think it's like Dr. Stephen something. I'll link it. And he said that you need to be getting 8 to 10 hours of sleep a day. And I know that a lot of us don't get that. I some days don't. Like today, I woke up so early. I was so annoyed with myself. Like literally woke up so early. And sorry. I've got a tickly throat. Yeah, and so 8 to 10 hours sleep a night. That's what you need to be getting. And I know that a lot of us don't get that. So it's really important that we really pay attention to this. Sorry. And that's true. You're absolutely right. If you're not sleeping enough, your brain isn't healing. And you're not being able to help yourself. The energy levels are all wrong. The food and sleep is the most important. And you get headaches. You're right. I'm really sorry to hear that. Oh, seeing that your head is always throbbing. Yeah, you guys, if you're spending time thinking about this other person, sorry, my throat, thinking about this person, you're taking time away from yourself. And these are the effects. You're not able to give yourself what it is that you need. You're not giving yourself that time to think about you. Sandeep, thank you very much. Narcs have bad relationships. Do they die single? Do you know what? That really depends on the individual. That really, really does depend on the individual. Yeah, they can die single. Most of them do. I think a lot of us would love to know that they actually do, but a lot of them don't. So it really depends on the situation and the person, whether, they die single, whether it, yeah, sorry. I hope that answers your question, but it really just depends on the person. So being more intentional about caring for yourself, about thinking about yourself, this is what this is about. This is what it's about when you level up, when you do things for yourself. When you are thinking about others, when you are putting yourself second, think about what narrative you are telling yourself, that you're not important enough, you're not good enough. And that isn't true. That is what you're going to keep thinking all the time going forward, that you don't deserve something. And that's going to be the narrative in life. You don't deserve to have this. You don't deserve to have a new relationship. You don't deserve to have a happy life. Because that is what you're thinking. That is what you're constantly feeding yourself. So when someone does come along, you're in fear because you think, oh, I don't deserve it. Like I shouldn't be having this. No. And that is what you're doing. You are robbing yourself of a future if you are not putting yourself first. This is where it all stems from. This is what I keep saying. This is the next chapter of your life. What's happened in the past is the past. Learn from it. Okay, it's happened. The past is the past. That's it. It's done. You're not going to get the past back. You're not even going to get the 3rd of December 2023 back, for those of you if it's nighttime. It's done. It's gone. You're not going to get the 2nd of January 2003. It's done. So it's up to you whether you want that memory or those thoughts of that person to live in your present, because it's only you who is in control of that. It's only you who brings that back to life. Yeah. So again, when you're thinking about them, when you're thinking, I can't do this, I can't let them go, I can't stop thinking about them, why did this happen? Remember, override this or write it down. Why can't you let them go? Why is it so difficult that you can't let them go? What was it about this person that gave you something that you can't give yourself? What do you need from this person? What are they giving you that you can't give yourself? And these are the decisions you've got to make. These are the choices that you've got to make. It's either them or you. Because someone's got to live and someone's got to die in this situation. So it is about detachment. And yes, Doreen, it is about acceptance. The truth will set you free. The truth will set you free. Because if you want to live the lie, it feels good for a time. It really does. But how long are you going to live that lie? Because it does catch up with you. It does catch up with you. You cannot live a lie for a while, for the rest of your life. Start putting yourself first. Start doing these little things for yourself. Start today. Start tomorrow if you don't want to today, if it's late. You have to start thinking about you. Overriding it. Not falling victim to that mentality, to those thoughts. Not allowing your fear to take over. Remember, fear is a construct. You didn't come into this world, or you weren't born with fear. It's a man-made construct, actually. It's born out of other people's life experiences and opinions of you. And then we just take it on as our own. Learn to see what is real. Learn to see what is the truth, rather than what you want it to be, or beliefs, or how you wish things were. See it for what it really, really is. Our life can be so wonderful on the other side. But it's a journey, and you're going to have to work for it. But it's not impossible. Life is magical. Life is so amazing. It's full of wonder. Just don't get caught up in all these other things. Being a victim. Thinking that you're not good enough. Thinking that you can't. Thinking that this person owes you something. That this person was amazing. That this person should have, would have, could have. But they didn't. Okay? They didn't. Claim your life. Rise up and claim your life. You've got to fight for you. Ryria, but bankruptcy only lasts for a certain amount of time, and you will also get over that. You will also build your fortune. Remember, building wealth is a mindset. It's about abundance, because that's really what wealth is. It's about abundance, and whether you allow yourself to have that so you can build it back up. There's lots of examples of people having nothing and building an empire. So it's not impossible. Remember, everything that we do in our life is about perception, and it's about mindset. So which one are you going to choose? Which one is going to be the one that you choose? The red pill or the blue pill? So it's, again, this is the way you've got to look at it. Okay? So you either let them go or you keep them in your life. So guys, I really hope that this live has helped you to see things from a different perspective. Like, I know it's not always easy. I know it's not. But you can do it. Like, nothing in life is impossible. You have got the capacity to get to where you need to be. It's going to take work, and yeah, it's going to take time because nothing happens just like that. But you will get through it, and it will be okay. Do you know what, guys? I have this Christmas tree that is literally just over there. You know, when I did my live a couple of weeks ago, I had the camera kind of facing that way. And I need to take this tree down. And I really can't be bothered. Do you know how much work taking all of those baubles off, all of the lights? And then, you know, I hung like paper snowflakes as well. So I kind of stapled them to the ceiling because then I knew they weren't going to fall, you know, because that was the worst thing. I thought, what if they fall when I'm doing live, or like, what if it just looks awful? So now I have to take these staples out from the ceiling, take the Christmas tree down. Maybe I just have to get my dad to do it. But he's never free. He's always busy. Anyway, yeah. Has anyone else taken their Christmas tree down? Because like I have a fake one and I have a real one. Oh my God, the pine needles that have fallen off. Like if any of you have got the real ones, like it smells amazing, doesn't it? But the pine needles that fall off is something else. So guys, I really hope you've enjoyed this live. Oh, you're so welcome. Forever Free. 2 years no contact. Thank you for helping me, Anushka. You're so welcome. Oh, I'm glad that you have been no contact. 2 years. We had 1 year, now we've got 2 years. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. YouTube says, do not hallucinate or intentionally lie. Intentionally lie. They lie. They're liars. They're liars. They believe their own fantasy. Mary, yours is still up as well. Oh my God, like I've really, like there's so many baubles on there. And, you know, you've always got to put them in that specific place because you don't want them to smash. You don't want it to, you know, for next year, there's all got to go in the loft. Yeah. Yes, Happy New Year. Thank you so much, Lisa. Yes, he's really good as well. Yeah, to search him up on YouTube. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for your time and for being here. It's been really great to hang out with you guys. I hope that the live has helped you. I hope that it has helped you think about this in a different way. You know, because it is about perspective, but you can get over it. You can get through this. Yeah, it's disturbing how much they lie. Their whole life is a lie. It's pathological lying. If you guys want to know a little bit more about it, it's a term called pathological lying, and there's a reason why they do that. So check it out. Like have a look on Google. Like you can just type in pathological liar. So it's not just people who lie like little lies or whatever, but even still, little lies amount to big things. So this is what I'm saying. You don't want to live your life as a lie. You want the truth. And the truth does hurt sometimes, not always, it does. But the truth will set you free. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. Happy New Year to each and every one of you. This is going to be the making of you. This is your year, guys. All right? You guys can do this. It's going to be amazing. Start small. Small things lead to big things. So thank you so much for being here. And I'll be back next Tuesday for another live. I will be posting the poll up on Sunday. I know that last week was on a Monday, but it will be up on Sunday. And if any of you have any, suggestions for topics or things like that, please write them, not in the chat because I think they will go, but obviously in the comments underneath the video, if there's any like specific like topic that you'd want me to talk about. So yeah, that would be amazing. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next week.